In this video, we'll show you how to teach some basic elements in bindings to a gymnast who can already do the most basic element, which is the side rotation. If you don't know how to teach that, then first check out our video on the side rotation. Here you can see what we'll cover in this video. You can skip to each chapter by clicking on the time marks in the video description. This is the spindle rotation backwards and forwards. We recommend starting with the spindle backwards because it's slightly easier, as we'll explain a little later. The gymnast goes into the bindings in the same way as for the side rotation, but then turns both feet to one side. In order to not slip out of the bindings, the gymnast will point their feet, just like for the side rotation. Then they turn their body in the same direction as the feet and keep turning until they look out of the wheel on the other side. The head is really facing the wall of the gym that is parallel to the wheel. In this twisted position, they can now grab both rung handles with an underarm grip. Then they can start swinging, just like for the side rotation. As a coach, your main job is to make sure the gymnast doesn't slip out of the bindings. In the spindle position, this is more likely to happen than in the side rotation because both feet are turned to one side. As with the side rotation, you can stand on the side of the wheel where the heels of the gymnast are. Then you grab the bindings with your fingers and fix the heel with your thumb. Also make sure you cross your hands in the correct way. You will realize that when rolling backwards, the risk of slipping out of the bindings is much higher in the first half of the rotation. When doing the spindle forwards, it's the second half. That's why many gymnasts find the spindle backwards easier, because the critical part is over sooner. You can also support the gymnast with one hand on the back and only secure the leading foot. When you are confident that the gymnast won't slip out of the bindings, you can stand away a little and finally let the gymnast do it on their own. The gymnast should always check that their feet are still well inside the bindings before starting. And please, for everyone's safety, walk forwards and not backwards when spotting the gymnast. For a correct technique, the knees should be straight at all times, except for one knee during swinging. The head should look to the front, which is the side of the wheel. For instance, you can tell the gymnast to look at the wall of the gym. If possible, one arm should be bent at a time. First, the trailing arm is bent, and in the second part of the rotation, the leading arm is bent. Now let's have a look at the front support backwards and forwards. As with the spindle, we recommend starting backwards. The front support is quite similar to the spindle, except now both hands grab the same rung handle. As always, make sure that the gymnast grabs from below. During the rotation, they should stay in this position: pointed feet, straight knees, straight arms, and they should look at the handle. This is important so they don't break in during the rotation. And another very important thing is that the hips are completely extended and facing the front. This also helps to prevent slipping out of the bindings. To get momentum, the gymnast can swing back and forth with their arms stretched to the side, or for beginners, to the front. Then they can see the handle coming and grab the handle. As a coach, you should secure the feet like for the spindle. Please be aware that the risk of slipping out of the bindings in the front support is even larger than in the spindle, so really be careful, in particular during the first half of the rotation. Here you can see another way of supporting the gymnast. The advantage is that they feel more secure and follow the wheel backwards better. Also, in case the hips are hanging, you can now push them into the correct position. This also prevents the feet from slipping out of the bindings. The front support forwards works in the same way, but here the critical part is the second half of the rotation. Make sure that the hips are straight, in particular during this phase. It is very common that a beginner will have too little momentum. Then the gymnast will roll back or maybe get stuck. So before they do the exercise on their own, make sure that the foot technique is very good and that the feet don't slip out of the bindings even if the rotation takes a long time. Also, the straight hips are crucial for getting well through the whole rotation. Of course, in the end, the gymnast should only swing once and keep everything straight except for one knee during swinging. During the rotation, they should look at the handle. The hips should face to the front and stay fully extended. In fact, knees, head, and hips are three very common sources for deductions in execution. With the side rotation, the spindle, and the front support, the gymnast can already get creative and come up with their own little choreographies. It can also be fun to try and do the choreography synchronized with a partner or a group. Also, all these exercises can be done with a partner in one wheel. We are trying to give you some inspiration here. Finally, we'd like to show you some more basic elements in bindings. Now that you know how to make sure that the gymnast doesn't slip out of the bindings, you can try many different variations. Here is some inspiration. So enjoy the endless possibilities, train safely, and have fun being creative.